Hi, I am Anita Ann Thomas. Welcome back to today's session on library movement in Kerala. Library movement is a broad term which includes any endeavour to foster the development of libraries and library services in a country or a state. Library movement in Kerala includes the following areas. 1. Development of public libraries in Kerala. 2. Kerala Grenda Sangam and its contribution. 3. Kerala State Library legislation. 4. Kerala Library Association, its contribution. Let's now move on to discuss the development of public libraries in Kerala. Kerala, the southernmost state of India, is well known for its high level literacy. The birth of public libraries in the state can be traced as early as 1829. Presently, there are about 5,000 public libraries in the state. Roughly speaking, there is one public library in each 10 square kilometers. A number of reasons can be traced for the existence of such a large number of rural public libraries in the state. The then three constituent parts of Kerala, Travancore, Kochi and Malabar, have different streams of public library movements. Development of public libraries in Travancore is our next topic of discussion. The early growth of libraries in the erstwhile state of Travancore was to a great extent due to the spread of education in this area. The government started direct involvement in education as early as 1817 in Travancore by opening the state-owned schools in vernacular languages. The public library movement in Travancore started with the establishment of Travancore Public Library in 1829. This library was started by the British residents and a few English-speaking natives in the city. By 1850s, a number of libraries emerged in the state. The establishment of Kochi Public Library in 1858 was one of the landmarks in the history of library movement in Travancore state. During the initial years of 20th century, various types of libraries such as grant in aid libraries, village libraries and school libraries were established. A number of associations and societies were also established and conducted meetings and seminars for promoting library movement during this period. Let's now move on to discuss the development of public libraries in Kochi. The early growth of libraries in the state of Kochi was to a great extent due to the spread of education in this area. The public library movement in Kochi started with the establishment of the Ernakulam Public Library in 1870. The Trichur Public Library and other important public libraries in the state were established in 1873. These two libraries were the landmarks of public library movement in Kochi. In 1926, the government of Kochi started to establish village libraries as a part of its educational extension activities. The government of Kochi organized separate department of public libraries and appointed a director as the head. The organized attempts in library movement in Kochi included a number of conferences and meetings of library workers and publication of one quarterly journal. But unfortunately, these attempts could not survive more than 1 year. Next, let us move on to the discussion of development of public libraries in Malabar. Unlike Travancore and Kochi, Malabar was one of the provinces of erstwhile Madras state. The national movement and peasant struggle in Malabar gave birth to the public library movement in this area. Consequently, rural public libraries and reading rooms started to appear. They functioned as the centers of rural mass for reading dailies and periodicals. Thus, the rural mass got motivated to fight against imperial and colonial foes. The ever first library in Malabar region was the Kozhikode Public Library, which was formed in 1890. Thalassery Victoria Memorial Library was formed in 1901 by the Christian missionaries. Presently, this library is known as Azad Memorial Library. The Kannur Public Library was formed in 1927. In 1937, the first Malabar Vayanashala Sammelanam was conducted at Calicut under the chairmanship of K. Kelappan. The meeting gave birth to the Malabar Vayanashala Sangam. In 1952, the Local Library Authority (LLA) was formed for the Malabar district as per the provision of the Madras Public Libraries Act 1948, and Kozhikode Public Library with its 7,000 volumes was converted into the district central library under the authority. Kerala Grandashala Sangam. The year 1945 is a milestone in the history of library movement in Kerala. It was in that year when the representatives of 47 libraries in the erstwhile Travancore met together in the PKM Memorial Library, Alappuzha, at the initiative of P.M. Panikkar, who was the founder secretary of the library and formed All Travancore Grandashala Sangam. The Sangam was renamed as Tirukochi Grandashala Sangam in 1949 with the integration of Travancore and Cochin states. As on 1949, there were about 350 libraries affiliated to the Sangam. This included the libraries already existed in Travancore, the Grand Inn Age libraries, Panchayat libraries and new libraries organized by the Sangam. By 1951, the rural school libraries and the village uplift libraries in Travancore area were also taken by the Sangam. In Kochi, apart from starting the new libraries and affiliating the already existing libraries, the Sangam also succeeded in making all government libraries as its members. In 1956, when the state of Kerala was formed, the Sangam extended its activities to Malabar and renamed it as Kerala Grandashala Sangam. About 500 libraries that had not been getting any grant from the local library authorities in Malabar immediately became the members of the Sangam. The Sangam has been the main channel of disbursing the government grants among the libraries in the state. It was Sangam which brought about a general awareness among people about the relevance of public library service. The Sangam played a significant role in promoting the cultural, social and educational life of Kerala through the effective medium of public libraries. Apart from the encouragements and maintenance of public libraries, the Sangam has been showing considerable interest in promoting adult education as well as pre-primary education in the state. Several adult education centers and nursery schools attached to rural libraries have been established at the initiative of Sangam. In 1977, the government took over the management of the Sangam and handed over to a control board with the Minister of Education as the chairman. By this time, there were about 4,200 libraries affiliated to Sangam. The Kerala Public Libraries Act 1989 provides for the merger of Sangam in the State Library Council with all its assets and liabilities. The Kerala Public Libraries Act 1989. There has been a long aborted history of attempts made at public library legislation in Kerala. Unfortunately, none of them were successful until 1989 when Kerala Public Libraries Act was passed. The abortive attempts for library legislation for the state of Kerala can be traced since 1948 when S.R. Ranganathan drafted a bill for Travancore state at the request of Sir C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer, the then Diwan of the state. Another draft bill, again by Ranganathan, for Cochin state was prepared at the request of the then educational minister Panamballi Govinda Menon. After the formation of Kerala state, Ranganathan drafted a bill along with 30-year development plan at the request of the then chief minister E.M.S. Namboodiripad. But unfortunately, all these attempts were aborted. After the 4 decades of endeavours, Kerala has been provided a legal basis for public library service with the enactment of Kerala Public Libraries Act of 1989. Let's now move on to discuss the salient features of the Act. Library Authority. There is a 3-tier administrative system for the organisation and administration of the public library system in Kerala state. It comprises first one Kerala State Library Council, second one District Library Council and the third Taluk Library Union. These duly elected bodies are more democratic in nature and statutory in character. The Taluk Library Union is the base of the hierarchical structure of democratic setup. It is the union of 2 representatives of each affiliated libraries in Taluk. The District Library Council is formed with 7 elected members of each Taluk union and President and Secretary of each union in the district. The council also includes the President or any office bearers of the affiliated library in the district headquarters. The State Library Council is the highest authority. It is formed with 1 representative of each taluk from District Library Council. It is the responsibility of the State Library Council to advise the government on matters concerned with the establishment and service of public libraries in the state. The State Council will coordinate the working of District Library Council and Taluk Library Union. Next, Library Finance. The Act provides an annual grant not more than 1% of the amount allotted for education in the state budget. So, a provision for the financial source of this kind from both cess and budget is the novel feature of this Act. This amount will be credited to the State Library Fund to be maintained by State Library Council. Apart from this source, contributions and gifts by any other personal body or authority will also be deposited in the State Library Fund. The Act has authorized State Library Council to levy cess in the form of surcharge in building and property tax at the rate of 5 paise per every rupee. The cess will be collected at Panchayat or Municipal Council as the case may be transferred to the State Library Council. Next is KLA, Kerala Library Association. Library associations have their own role in the library movement of our state. The objective of a library association is to strengthen and expand the library movement in a country or a state. These objectives are fulfilled by conducting local, zonal, national, international workshops, seminars, meetings and discussions. The Kerala Library Association is a professional body of librarians in Kerala. It was registered under Societies Act in 1971. The office of the association is located at Trivandrum. Since its inception, KLA has been able to represent the interests of the qualified librarians working in different libraries, always with due foresight and objectivity, keeping in view the proper development of the libraries and library services in the state. For creating necessary public opinion in matters of policy related to library and library service in the state, the association has so far held several seminars and conferences to help the government discuss and formulate policies relating to different aspects of library services. The achievements of KLA, spanning over a period of 3 decades of steady progress, is well reflected in the developmental history of library movement in Kerala. The association has played a pivotal role in the scientific management and quality improvement of library and information system in the state. The role played by KLA in various reforms, committees and commissions, especially in the academic sector, needs special mention, the most important among them being the VP Joy Committee report on college libraries and school libraries. The discussion held with the Commission on School Education in Kerala, headed by Dr. U.R. Anandamurthy, and proposals made by KLA were well understood and appreciated. The major program launched by the association in the recent past is the undertaking of project works to reorganize and modernize libraries in various parts of the states. Let's move on to discuss the objectives of KLA. A. To unite all libraries in Kerala by holding conferences and meetings for the discussion of matters affecting the library and library profession. B. To promote library movement and improvement in library services. C. To promote appropriate library legislation in the state. D. To promote the better administration of libraries. E. To promote library science education and the improvement of trainings of librarians in Kerala. F. To promote and encourage bibliographical study and research. G. To promote the establishment of libraries, documentation and information centers in Kerala. H. To publish information of service or interest to the members of the association or for the promotion of the objects of the association. I. To promote whatever may tend to the improvement of the position and qualification of the librarians. J. To affiliate to the association other associations in Kerala with similar objectives. K. To cooperate with other state, national, international and other organizations with similar objectives. Next, the activities, the major activities of KLA. First one, professional development programs such as developing policies and guidelines in consultation with regional, national and international professional bodies in LIS. Professor K. Isaac commemoration lecture every year. Then KLA gold medals for Bachelor of Library Science and Master of Library Science toppers from all the 3 universities of Kerala. Professor C.A. Augustine Holy Cross endowments. Seminars and workshops at international, national and regional levels. Workshops on LIS software, technologies, tools, UGC net coaching programs, skill development programs for researchers, faculty and students, National Library Week, Librarians Day and Reading Day celebrations, career orientation programs for LIS students, lectures, talks and sensitization programs on the recent development in LIS. The second major activity of KLA is representing and lobbying favorable policy decisions from the government for the overall professional well-being of the members working in different sectors. Third, collaborative activities with other national and international professional associations, government organizations, NGOs, and sponsoring agencies. 4. Consultancy planning and implementation library modernization projects. Fifth, publication of a quarterly newsletter, books, seminar proceedings, reports and brochures. Kerala Library Professionals Organization. Calpro is the next topic of our discussion. Calpro has its own role and contribution in the library movement of the state. It's a pioneer organization of its kind in Kerala and it was formed in 1992. Calpro has succeeded in giving proper guidance in observing the new dimensions in the field of library and information service in the state. Objectives of Calpro. First one, to promote communication, cooperation and unity among librarians. Second one, to conduct seminars, lectures, short-term courses and workshops for members. Third, to bring out publications. Fourth, to offer consultancy services to libraries and information centers. Fifth, to undertake research projects. Sixth, to represent the profession in discussions and negotiations with the government and other policy-making bodies. Now, it's time to summarize the session. Kerala, the highest literate state of India, has presently a strong public library system. The state achieved this envious position by different streams such as government interfering, the Public Library Act of 1989 and the role of library associations like Kerala Library Association and Kerala Grenda Sangam. Even though the density of public libraries in the state is very high, the condition of majority of these libraries is not satisfactory. The majority of these libraries function with old building, old furniture, old book collection and old technology. All these are to be developed efficiently and effectively for the better public library service in the state. Before we move on to the next session, please try to answer some of the questions. First one, try to examine the role of Kerala Grenda Sangam in the enactment of public library legislation in the state. Second one, briefly explain the development of public libraries in various parts of Kerala. Let's look into the reference. Indian Library Legislation, State Library Bills and Acts by Venkatappiya, Daya Publishing House, New Delhi. Public Library Movement in Kerala, Souvenir 25th All India Library Conference by V.K.G. Nair and P.A. John. Library Movement and Library Development in Kerala and Lakshadweep by P.S.G. Kumar. B.R. Publishers, New Delhi. It's time to wind up. Hope this session was enriching. Thank you for listening to the session. Goodbye.